Warning, the following episode of Retro Nick Relics includes some grown-up potty words. Viewer discretion is ass! Hello, Internet, and welcome to Retro Nick Reviews, a new spin on my old show where you get my 2-bit opinion on these 8 through 32-bit new releases. Yeah, that's right. I've gone from reviewing 30-year-old games to one that hasn't even come out yet. Now, normally I wouldn't review a new game, but...
Well, I'm gonna do it just for you, because I like you a lot. Now, don't take that too serious.
Introducing the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit, developed and published by Retroware and releasing for Steam, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox on October 23rd, 2025, with an NES version, courtesy of Megacat Studios and Limited Run Games, coming soon. I was given a code to download the pre-release version on Steam, so let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, maybe your mom locked you in an attic while the good twin lived your best life.
Hey, can I have some turkey?
Oh, you finish your fish heads, then we'll talk.
James Rolfe is the Angry Video Game Nerd, a foul-mouthed, basement-dwelling raging gamer on a quest to play the worst games of all time since 2004. Over 20 years later, the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit continues chronicling the nerd's exploits as he decides to play a good game for a change. Just as he's about to make his selection, series favorite Super Mecha Death Christ 2 version 4.0 beta, sorry, that's never not a mouthful, crashes the party. His system has been corrupted by a glitched patch, and he has turned evil, possessing the nerd's NES and unleashing a deadly virus that disables all video game consoles across the globe.
That's probably not good.
Now the nerd is the only thing standing between us and touching grass.
Because I like you a lot.
As the Angry Video Game Nerd, you must jump and zap your way through 6 stages of 8-bit action platforming inspired by the worst games ever created before confronting the maniacal messiah and saving the day. Is it convoluted? Yes. Is that a whole lot of exposition? Also yes. But is it any good?
This game sucks. Just the way I like it.
Once the nearly 6-minute-long intro ends, the title screen shows up, and man, I already love it. This is a love letter to AVGN fans. I mean, look at this! Your health bar is a rolling rock, and you can replenish it by drinking more beers. You can even throw your empties at enemies like they were the axes in Castlevania. The overall controls are nice and tight too. The nerd reacts exactly the way you'd expect, and there's a delightful little pushback animation when you're hit by enemies. I also really enjoy when the action stops as your health bar refills. It's this attention to detail that really sells the experience of playing a classic NES game. Specifically, Megaman. Right down to the stage select screen. Get a load of this. Classic. You have 6 different bosses on 6 stages inspired by 6 of the nerd's most famous reviews. Wait a minute.
That's 666. Everywhere you look, it's the number of the beast.
I chose the Turdo tunnel first and got my ass kicked so hard that I swore I could taste shoe in the back of my throat.
Must be doing something wrong. It tastes like shoe.
No, seriously, I died so fast that I thought there had to be special abilities that you can unlock after defeating bosses to make the stages passable. Like when you beat the Robot Masters in Megaman. But no, it doesn't really matter what order you choose. You're going to get totally spanked on your first couple of tries. Now, while there aren't any special abilities to collect, you can collect power-ups to upgrade your zapper, increasing both the power and spread of your shot. There's also an assortment of inventory items you can activate by hitting the Y button on your controller or up plus attack. Belmont style, baby! Some of my favorite items include the beer bottles that I already mentioned, as well as an F-bomb that destroys everything on screen, and the pickle that flies into enemies to take some of the pressure off of the nerd. There's also a golden pickle that appears on your last life and basically breaks the game if you choose to use it. Admittedly, this is the only way I could defeat bosses in normal mode, which made me kind of feel like the weenie in Wolfenstein 3D.
You're me.
The Konami Laser Scope and Super Scope combo is probably the most useful power-up and another great nod to the show. It also allows you to charge your shot Megaman style. but it's usually hidden through alternate paths on the various stages, and if you lose a life, you lose it. You can choose between 3 different difficulty levels, which range from baby stuff to... Chill as hell is definitely baby stuff. It feels way too easy, but it's there if, like an annoyed lover, you just want to get this over with. Or you need to capture footage for your video review. Normal mode is tough as nails, but it's doable if you put the time in. It's the same sort of punishing yet satisfying difficulty I encountered playing Megaman 9 on the Xbox 360, which is also hang you up by your ankles and paddle your butt till it's red difficult. Now that's an image. You will get smeared on your first few tries, but after a little practice, you'll get the flow of each stage and you'll find your groove. And hardest balls difficulty is enemies become hit sponges, you can no longer pick up dropped zapper power-ups, and the golden pickle that appears in your last life in normal mode is nowhere to be seen. This is basically here for the Mario Maker masochist, though it might be comparatively easy for those psychos.
Mamma mia!
Casual players will find normal mode plenty tough enough. No, seriously, what kind of deranged sadist thought, I know, I'll have a moving platform covered in one-hit kill spikes, follow the player as they bounce on springs and platforms while dodging enemy fire, and yet more spikes! You vile villain. Despicable. Before I got to this point in Air World, I was dying at the beginning over and over again, because I didn't know how these stupid springs work. I was just trying to time my jump so that I hit the button when I made contact with the spring. Just when I thought I had the timing down, boom, dead. Turns out you have to hold jump to activate these things, which is admittedly way simpler than I was trying to do it. Probably why I didn't expect that to work and couldn't figure it out. But seriously, get used to dying, because it's gonna happen over and over and over again. Knock knock, who's there? Dead. I know it sounds like I'm whining, but I genuinely do appreciate the challenge. It is way more rewarding to die a few times and then feel the satisfaction of making it through a difficult obstacle. For example, I didn't even realize that I was still playing a normal mode when I was running and gunning through the soda factory here. Again, you get back what you put in. As challenging as the stages are, they don't hold a candle to the game's boss fights. The bosses in the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit were inspired by past foes on the show, including the F-14 Tomcat from Top Gun, and the Devil from the Super Mario Bros. 3 review. But my favorite boss is TP, who was inspired by this ugly little nugget. TP fills the screen and blasts it. Sorry. I can't see the picture. There's all this TP here.
I mean, you know, it's not funny, but you know, I get it.
He fills the screen and blasts the chamber floor with his middle fingers before summoning these little guys.
The angry video game.
Dodge the lasers, waves of diarrhea, and the dookie that he spews from his mouth long enough, and his face will come down to where you can actually hit it before he destroys a chunk of the chamber floor, revealing deadly spikes below. It reminds me of some of my favorite boss fights from the Sonic the Hedgehog series, namely Spring Yard Zone and the mid-boss of Flying Battery Zone. And one thing that I wasn't expecting to love as much as I do is the Sonic experience.
Hey, come on!
Hey, no, sorry, we're done with the Sonic the Hedgehog comparisons. I'm talking about the auditory experience. The sound effects are great and fit the action perfectly, and I love the crunchy digitized voice. I get a real thrill when I hear the nerd scream. When I lose a life. I feel the same way, nerd. Now, enough about getting slapped around, let's talk about something that slaps. The soundtrack. These are some outstanding chiptunes. Check out this sideways version of the Stage 1 theme from Ghouls and Ghosts on the Graves and Groans stage. Really great work here. Now, as great as this game is, I just have a few minor nitpicks, but, you know, it's nothing deal-breaking. First up, I wish I could just skip the opening cutscenes by tapping start, or really any button, and have them pass by immediately, instead of having to hold down button A. And while we're at it, maybe giving you an option to only play them the first time I load a stage. I'd also like a digital manual with a brief overview of the controls, items, and enemies. You know, make it look like an old NES manual to drive the nostalgia home and give me an idea of what I'm looking at on screen. Now, that could be included on release, so I'm not going to hold it against this version. And lastly, there's an option to censor the language that I guess is there if you want to play this game with your kids. However, it only censors the on-screen text. Spoken swear words remain uncensored, which makes this feature kind of useless. Now, this could change leading up to the release, but as it stands, there's really no point in activating it.
Now get ready for some fantastic platforming.
It's worth mentioning that, while immature, the Angry Video Game Nerd's brand of humor was never meant for children. So I'm not counting the bad language against it. I'm just saying if you're gonna have this feature, you have to make it work as intended.
You have to use so many cuss words.
Talking about.
So, what do I think? Overall, I really enjoyed my time with the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit. With its limited color palette and big expressive sprites, the presentation is top-notch. Little animation touches like pausing the action to regain your health and bouncing back from enemy fire are gonna take you back to the past. Sorry, I couldn't help it. That theme song has been in my head the whole time I've been playing this. The 4K video cutscenes offer a stark contrast to the 8-bit gameplay, but they neatly tie everything into the Nerd's universe. I'm guessing these won't be present in the NES release, though.
I don't know.
The controls are solid, and the gameplay is challenging, yet rewarding, and most importantly, it's a whole lot of fun. That's why I'm giving the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit 8 Frosty Rolling Rocks out of 10.
Oh boy, mail.
Here comes a new challenger!
It's time for the Retro Nick Mailbag, the part of the show where you get to be heard. Here's what you had to say about my review of Stormlord on the Sega Genesis. John R. 4836 posited, "Oh, just wait until you play the more worst game."
Well, things could get worse.
PC Lord 20XX, who inspired the choice of Stormlord, thought it could be tougher on the game, stating, "Stormlord sucked for an 11-year-old at launch. Laughing emoji. Great show. Thanks for the review." You're welcome, buddy. And yeah, I mean, it sucks, but hey, at least it's more playable than Sort of Sedan. For whatever that's worth. Oh, jeez, nuts to this. And finally, Zion Craze opines, Razorsoft, why does that name sound so familiar?
A few moments later.
Slaughter Sport! Now that's the worst game on the Mega Drive ever, don't you know?
Ooh, challenge accepted.
As usual, I'd like to give a major shout out to my friends over at Retro Game Squad, and while their show may be on hiatus, you can still find a link to their active Discord community at RetroGameSquad.com, where you can face off against me directly in the Splatterhouse High Score Challenge, which is actually getting pretty competitive. You know, if you're really good at Splatterhouse, why don't you just... While I'm at it, I'd love to plug friends of the show and RNR supporter Ray is Happy. Check out his daily, yes I said daily videos, chock full of fine arts tutorials, inspiration, and daily motivation. Each month starts with a new cycle where you learn a new skill and stoke your fire. Go subscribe to him now on YouTube at RayIsHappy1567, or you can follow him on X with the handle at RayIsHappy. Thank you so much for tuning into Retro Nick Relics. If you like this video, please be sure to slap those like and subscribe buttons, and tune in again to find out what I dig up next. I'm Retro Nick.
And you'd be too if you were me.